The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
Hi, this is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from New York. She's a former pro wrestler who trained at the Storm Wrestling Academy, but currently you can find her as the host and ring announcer for Mission Pro Wrestling, interviewer and commentator for Limitless Wrestling, news correspondent and content creator for IWTV. She's also a former segment host and interviewer for Chikara Pro. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who, if I had her schedule, I'd have already had a nervous breakdown. I give you Sam Leterna. Hey, Sam, how are you?
I'm very well. That was a lovely little montage. I really enjoyed that. It was like a reflective for me.
Well, you know, I was hoping that it came off the way. I was fighting with my children while doing it, so I hope there was nothing negative that came off in my work.
No, it was
Thank
amazing.
you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I was looking forward to this all day long today. So let's get right into it. So you wear a ton of hats. You have a ton of responsibilities. Do you ever have like free time, like to sit on the couch and watch TV, like with your dog, for example?
Over the past like 3-4 months, I really have not had that time because
Okay.
I do travel part of the week and then I do work another job the other part of the week, and I'm usually working 6 days a week between bookings and
Sure.
the other thing that I do. So it just you gotta make sacrifices, I guess, and put time into things that you believe can like happen long term for you. So that's the way I'm thinking of it now. I'm like just grinding and
Sure.
finding time and like doing, I don't know, kind of trying to like compromise. Like I asked my boss at my shoot job if I could bring my dog to work because of the way my hours were with bookings and like being away from my dog. So he lets me bring my dog to work now, so it's like a compromise. I can work as long as my dog is with me. Yeah. So like everything kind of is working out, even though I'm often very tired.
I imagine. I assume they're paying your dog minimum wage, so that's great. It's earning as well. When was the last time you went on a vacation, like where you could like go to the beach or just do nothing?
Well, I did in December, like before Christmas, or maybe early December of 2021. I went to Florida. I have family out there in like the Hollywood, Miami area. So I just hung out there for like 4 or 5 days, and it was really relaxing. It was just what I needed, like a little bit of warmth when it was really cold in New York. So that was like a mini vacation, but I haven't been to like a destination in a while,
Yeah, like you haven't gone on this is inappropriate, a cruise, but obviously
no,
nobody's
it's
been
not
going on
inappropriate.
them.
I'm kind of freaked out by cruises. I used to like them as a kid. I've been on cruises, but I'm kind of like scared by the reports of cruise ships kind of just having malfunctions on the open ocean.
I used to have that with flying. Like as a kid, like there'd be no thought into it. Like I might as well be getting on a train or a car. I'm like, I'll do anything I can not to fly now, which doesn't really work. But okay, good. So I was doing some research on you, and
Mhm.
I was looking at your Amazon wish list. Okay, and
Yes.
is clothing like your major expense? And
Yeah,
I'm not saying that
absolutely.
strictly from the Amazon list. It's just every time I see you on IWTV or anywhere. I mean, there's something different.
I mean, I think that as a broadcaster,
Mhm.
you have a responsibility to like look professional because you're the first voice that people hear on a broadcast, right? And then if there's an on-camera moment, which a lot of the shows I work do have, you have to like look presentable and professional.
Sure.
And so I think just, when everything comes together, you know, awesome wrestlers, awesome refs, like professional looking broadcasters, everything
Yeah.
just like the aesthetic, you gotta, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors and everyone has to do their part. So I like to dress up for those occasions, but in my real life
Uh-huh.
outside of wrestling, I like to be comfortable because I do put myself sometimes in situations at shows where my heels might be a little uncomfortable, or maybe it's colder than I thought in the building for the outfit. So like I'm all down for the sacrifice. I will keep doing it. Like some
Uh-huh.
awesome choices, not so smart choices, but all fashionable. For the sake of being presentable and professional, because it means a lot to me.
Has anyone come and said, "Hey, where our clothing?"
I've had a couple of people approach me, but it hasn't been something that's been like worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did recently get my first sponsored ad though, with
Oh,
this like wrestling GM game. It's like
uh,
an app that's like
what is it
available on
called?
Google. Wrestling GM, so like you book your own show basically. Yeah, by Sicko Games. They're really awesome. I like the concept. There's a lot of players on, so it was cool to like have them ask me to do that. Like I think they got Denise Salcedo and Chris Van Vliet. So I was like, oh, you'd ask me, and like because they're so popular, so it was cool to kind of be among those people. And I work
Yeah,
with Denise, so that was awesome.
that's another piece of pop culture that you're in. Like
Yeah, it's
that's
cool.
so that we could get, like, say it's like the App Store, like an Apple App Store and
Yeah,
stuff right now.
download Wrestling GM, all Apple devices and Google devices.
Oh,
Um,
awesome! Those are always great. Those
yeah,
GM games. So
yeah,
when you trained at Storm Wrestling Academy,
I
okay,
did.
did you at the time when there, um, did you have any interest in like commentating or interviewing, hosting?
No, it's like not even something that crossed my mind until like six months after I stopped wrestling. Like just a conversation in passing
Uh,
uh, with a friend of mine in the business
okay,
about like just like where I was at, because I was like very like down that like I had stopped wrestling, but also like my body just felt like garbage and like I knew I needed to stop wrestling. Like
hmm
just for me personally, like I'm a little chick, so it's like not a lot of muscle. So yeah. But then like I don't know, I thought at that moment there weren't a lot of interviewers necessarily. Like I
hmm
think there's a lot more opportunity for that now and to grow
sure.
within broadcasting on the indies in general, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man. But yeah, I just started doing Wrestle Tea as like a way to like still be involved, but I never thought that I'd
Sure.
actually like start broadcasting. It was like more like hobby based and like still like go to shows, I guess, like every now and then. But then it just turned into something totally different. And yeah, I got contacted by Chikara to like come in and do their segments for Action Arcade, which was awesome. So yeah, it just kind of went from there.
Did that call come out of the blue?
Yeah, I had never met Mike Quackenbush like ever. I'd
Uh-huh.
heard about him. Never trained there, never gone to a seminar or anything. He just
Uh-huh.
like hit me up on Twitter, and he was super respectful, and I always had like a very professional relationship with him at work, and he taught me a lot about like how to do the segments and stuff. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
Did you, when it came to actually doing it for the first time, were you nervous?
I'm sorry, my dog is being devious over there. I I was nervous because like I just didn't know what to expect, and I actually feel like I have less to remember now.
Okay.
Generally with like commentary is different, but like for segments, like hosted segments, like if I do those, it's like very brief and like self-explanatory, like usually explaining what's happening behind me or something like, oh, you know, Beyond Wrestling, Fat Forever, you know, so-and-so, catch it on IWTV. It's like stuff that I kind of repeat so I can just say it. But like with Mike, he'd challenge me with like these like freaking 2-paragraph segments. And like, you know, Chikara was very like character driven. So like he also wanted the broadcaster to be a little like animated and cheeky, and that actually like that's a good thing for Chikara, but like maybe not for broadcasting, because you want to be a little more conversational and natural, right? Instead of like, hey, how's it going? You know, that's awesome. I like that stuff, but like I guess, you know, the standard within the industry is not that. So I had to like unlearn that a little bit too, but like the experience was awesome.
Have you ever considered getting a Mean Gene Okerlund haircut? To maybe kind of think about it. Maybe don't answer. Don't answer it now. Maybe down the line we'll get you on again. So
you know, I'll mull it over. I'm actually supposed to be watching some Mean Gene Okerlund clips for something I'm working on. So
cool.
I'll double check the head and see if it's something I can do at some point in the future.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know, that I should have asked this at the end, so there's a cliffhanger. But you know, I'm not no showman. So okay, again, along the theme of you not having a ton of time, how much preparation during the week do you put in, like tape study, or you know, planning out how you're going to, you know, approach an interview, or how does that happen with your free time?
Yeah. So, I mean, with the interviews, it depends what it's going to be. I've kind of had my like YouTube channel take a back seat over the past couple of months to like actual broadcasting like gigs within the independent wrestling scene. So like going to shows and doing interviews, which is more like a backstage correspondent as opposed to like a more like conversational, like, you know, anything goes, not anything, but you know, there's boundaries, but like, you know, just a loose conversation,
sure,
virtually on Skype, you know. But yeah, I went on a tangent. Sorry.
No. That's totally fine. So you fit this stuff in as it comes.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So throughout the week, it really depends like how much I have going on with the interviews. If I'm doing something like weekly, I get to know the story that's being told. Like I have done Beyond's Uncharted weekly, for example. So after 3 months, you get to know what like interviews are needed and like who needs those interviews for story stuff and to plug future shows, like everything. There's like a reason for everything. So I try to analyze it from that standpoint. And then also like let a lot of the wrestlers who also like happen to be really cool people, and like some of them, my friends, like have their creative moments and whatever they want to interject into it, you know, like so that, and then commentary like is a couple of hours. Like that's what I think. If I'm doing a whole show and it's like 7 to 9 matches, that's going to take like at least 2.5 hours, probably 3. Yeah, just because like you want to give everything its proper time. What?
Yeah, that's true. Is it fun?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fun. And then like the thing is that you start to accrue the same information over and over again. Like, for example, you know, because you tell the same stories. Like I do commentary at Mission Pro Wrestling every month now, and I've been there, you know, for going on a year. So I know I just know the people. I know their finishers. I know, you know, their characters and stuff. So it makes it a lot easier on commentary if you work with people a lot and have that rapport. But if it's new people, I like to have a lot of notes, but just like in digesting them versus like looking at a paper, you know, just like having it to refer to in my mind.
Yeah. And are you able to like glance down and really and remind yourself what you're going to be doing next?
You know, we all have good and bad nights, and I'm still learning a lot on commentary. So I'd say I've definitely had moments where I've been really in the groove and like feeling it and like super confident of the story I'm telling, and like my voice, you know. But then I've also had nights where it just doesn't feel that way.
I'm knocking on wood for you right now.
I'm sorry?
I said I was knocking on wood for you right now as you were saying that stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So you
Thank
didn't
you.
jinx yourself.
But no, yeah, every time is different, right? Sometimes like, for example, I don't know, sometimes I just think too much about what I'm going to say, and you just got to like focus on the action in the ring. Like it's all a learning process, but I'm like super blessed that I have a lot of really awesome commentators, available to me either like through Twitter or like people I work with and like learn from, like Paul Crockett or Sydney Bacabella, if Sydney wants to be nice. So yeah.
So like you have like mentors or people that you can, lean on if you have
Absolutely.
questions.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you're a long way off from being like a veteran, in this business?
Oh, I mean, like, I think that's going to take a lot of time, right? Because, like, a veteran status is, like, not easily earned. I'd say, like, so I've been involved in wrestling for 6 years, technically, and, like, I've been around the block, per se, like, like Canada, Midwest, Northeast. I've, like, just, like, seen a lot of different wrestling, even, like, a little in the South, by being in the Midwest. So, like, I don't know. I feel like I just have, like I don't have veteran status, but I have like, the respect of my peers that matter, and that's what counts essentially. I don't feel like I'm like, like, oh, that interviewer or anything. So like if that's where I stand with people, like that's all I need.
Would you ever wrestle again?
No. I don't have the bug anymore. I love watching wrestling. I live for the moments, but I find that I really, I like telling the stories because I've always liked the stories. So now being able to like function as a narrator essentially in different ways through interviewing, through, commentary, through hosting, where you kind of like embody the spirit of the show, right? Like, I don't know if you watch Beyond, but Rich Palladino, like, I feel like is synonymous with Beyond, that, right? Like that voice, that company, and like just stuff like that, like be able to be a part of a company and like be the voice of a company is super important because you're contributing if you have that esteem, I guess.
Does what you're doing now like satisfy like that have a creative outlet for you, that or the feeling you get when you were going to be a pro wrestler and you were training?
They're different feelings, but I feel like I'm challenged by my work. I work for people who allow me to be me and be creative, while also like coaching me in the right direction and not like, blowing smoke. I really don't like that. I like being direct. I like, progress. And the only way to make progress is to like get feedback or critique, whatever you want to call it. Right. So I have a lot of people who I feel like put their faith in me and know that I do good work and like want me to succeed as a broadcaster, so it's cool.
Got a quick question.
Yes.
All right. It's just a hypothetical. Say AEW or WWE, they contact you and we're like, we want you, and you can bring one other person. It could be a wrestler, it could be a ring announcer, it could be anything. You don't have to give me a name, but do you have a person that you would? One that stands out in your head?
It depends what it's based off of, because if it were like, and it depends what it would be for, right? Like if they wanted me to interview and I could bring anyone, I don't know, like that's a loaded question. I would say like off the top of my head, like some people who I feel like would be deserving of those opportunities, like that I'm friends with. Becca, leader of the Scrunchy Squad, I think that she's going to be like really, really big this year. Like I think she's going to break out. She's super talented, works really hard. I mean, already signed to Impact, already killing it, but Masha Slamovich. I would take her anywhere with me. We travel together a lot. So like, it's nice to have people that you travel with. Yeah. And then I don't know, people that like make me happy. Like when I see them backstage, like Jordan Blade. Jordan Blade makes me happy when I see her backstage. So like, just like good vibes, good people, is who I'd bring, I guess, if I could.
Okay.
But in a hypothetical perfect world.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I told you, like, I didn't even need you to name names. I wanted to know if there's a person in your wrestling
Oh, I
life that
didn't
you.
know. I'm sorry. I
No,
overshared.
no. I that's great that you did. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable or make someone angry at you or something.
I will literally answer anything.
Okay, okay.
I am really good at being diplomatic as well. So,
Are your parents still around?
oh yeah, yeah, they are.
Okay.
Both
You
of
want
my
me
parents
so I
still
can
are.
ask you anything you want. Who do you
Yeah,
love
yeah.
more, your mom or your dad? Okay. See,
Oh my
any
gosh,
question?
it's hard. I love them both equally, but I love them for different reasons. Like I feel like they really balance each other out. Um,
Uh-huh.
that makes sense. So
No,
that's
perfect sense.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're like a little politician.
No,
Um,
but that's how I feel, I
no,
swear.
I know. That was very sweet. I admit that. Um, how did IWTV come to you?
Um, kind of.
Hmm.
But like I was definitely introducing myself to Jerry a lot before then.
Okay.
Um, but like we like met once, but I was like very like, hi, how's it going? Like, but yeah, no, I was doing Camp Leapfrog and I was doing like the hosting role
Hmm.
there and just like having fun with that because it was a little more like character based and
Yeah,
you could just like do whatever kind of free for all, create creatively.
sure.
And I guess Jerry saw that and then Chris Levin actually like recommended me for that with Jerry. And yeah, we started working together doing some fun stuff. Yeah, I just start. It kind of just went. I don't know. We just do our thing. Yeah, a lot of
That's
random stuff, but like some cool projects. And I'm always pitching Jerry like ideas. So one day we're gonna get a good idea going, and we're gonna go
Do
for
you get recognized like
it.
people like me,
No,
commoners?
no. Like if
Really?
I'm like in a wrestling environment,
Uh-huh.
yes, which is kind of
Okay.
weird to really think about. But
Uh-huh.
in a wrestling environment, yes, it does happen now.
Uh-huh.
But in a normal environment, no. Even though I did have a police officer recognize me on the
Okay,
street.
well there you go.
Yeah, but it like I had a Beyond Wrestling shirt on, and then he just put two and two together, and I was like, yeah. But that was
Yeah.
like the only the only time, and that
I
was
like to
super
think
cool.
that a lot of people recognize you, but they get intimidated. So
I
they're
I don't
out there.
know. I don't know.
Um, but that's actually a good thing. Okay. My last question for you. Well, one of them. Last wrestling question. If you never made it to WWE, would you be fine with that? And you just kept on, with these other promotions that obviously aren't the size of WWE, but are great wrestling.
Um, I think that right now I'm more focused on like the journey as opposed
Hmm.
to the destination because I know people who reach destinations, whatever that may be. I'm
Hmm.
not pinpointing WWE or any
Sure.
like just like major promotions, let's say, where like it maybe doesn't work out for them and then they're back on the indies, right? Like
Hmm.
you go back to the journey when you go back on the indies, right? And I feel like I'm doing for what I'm doing. I do feel like I'm a part of important work because we are experiencing a tremendous amount of growth within indie wrestling, and for the first time, like the interactions that are happening with major companies, like it's unprecedented. So
Yeah.
it's an exciting time to be around doing this. And I feel like the indies shouldn't be left behind necessarily. And if you can monetize and be smart, like, and build a brand, then you can make money as an independent wrestler. Like
That's
they're
amazing.
doing it. So why not as a broadcaster?
Yeah, for sure. And that was a good way to put it. I never thought about that as far as the journey, or you reach there and then you don't make it and you're back on the journey again.
I mean, I'm
Um,
down for destination, but right now I am enjoying the journey and whatever is meant to
sure.
happen, whatever the universe wills,
Uh-huh.
will be. I'm just trying to be my best self and present as polished as I can and
Hmm.
learn and grow to like one day hopefully be offered an opportunity somewhere, but I don't
Sure.
know where that would be.
Yeah, well, you're on your way. No, like, sincerely, like you're great at what you
That's
do.
very
So
sweet.
I
I
hope
appreciate it.
things just keep going. Even regardless of where, I hope the money increases. I don't care where.
Too.
All right, totally. All right, I'm going to let you go soon. Can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
Let me say, I generally like to ask my wife to make sure they're not inappropriate, but I didn't get a chance to this time. So
Don't worry
bear
about
with
it. I'm very chill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you do you know how to get out of a straitjacket?
No, and I think I'd get anxiety if I was put in a straitjacket.
Would you have a
Yeah,
hard side note, would you freak out being buried alive, for like 24
absolutely.
hours? Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. Do you think you could make it in an
Absolutely.
hour?
What?
Do you think you could make it 1 hour buried alive?
No. Maybe if I was like in a coffin for an hour, but I wouldn't want the dirt and stuff on me for an hour.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Can you sneeze with your eyes open?
I've tried and it really hurts, so
Yeah, it
no.
does. All right. Now, this is the second highest amount of money I have offered in this position. So so here we go. For
All right.
$54 million, would you go live with the pandas in China in the wild for 10 years?
Mm, no, it's too big of a sacrifice. Money doesn't like mean that much to me that I would do that for like a long-term payoff 10 years down the line.
I wouldn't do it because of the potential mosquito bites that I would get being outdoors in the jungle with them.
Pandas are also like pretty violent. They're really cute, but
Hmm.
they're actually pretty violent, so
Yeah,
that's not
unless
worth
you're a
it.
baby panda where they love you,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
someone like you or me, they'd want to rip your head off. All right. Have you ever seen a Larry the Cable Guy movie and it changed your life?
I've seen the first one. I don't
Hmm.
remember the name, but I was a really big fan of that show he was on Comedy
Hmm.
Central with the other comedians.
Yes.
I forget it. I forgot the name,
With
but that
Jeff
was freaking
Foxworthy
awesome.
and
Yes, all of those
okay.
guys. And
Any of it ever changed your life?
honestly, like yeah, I guess so.
Oh
No,
wow. Okay.
it was just that they were really good comedians.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. You're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Last question. And
Okay.
be honest here. Are you a hologram?
I am a hologram. I
God
am
damn it.
actually, yeah, I have 5 other interviews happening right
No.
now, and so
Oh
I
my
had
God.
to like splice myself.
Oh God. Well,
Yeah.
technology, I should be surprised it's 2022. Um, Thank you so much, Sam, for
You're
giving me this
welcome.
time. I really do appreciate it. It lived up to what I was working toward for today. But it was a pleasure having you, and hopefully down the road we can talk again.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Whenever. This was an awesome interview. I
all
enjoyed
right,
it.
cool. All right, Sam. Well, you take care. Happy and healthy 2022, and I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, take care. Bye.